Hello, and I would like to welcome you to our on-demand demo of TrashScan Valet Trash Solution. My name is Paul Jackson, and I lead up our sales team.
And my name is Eddie Williams, and I'm the marketing manager for TrashScan app.
Now that we got the intros out the way, we'd like to take the opportunity to walk you through the various features of TrashScan and be able to give you some use cases of how TrashScan may fit into your business. In hopes that at the end of this, we'll be able to show the value that it brings to your valet trash business and taking it to the next level. To start off, let's first answer the question, what is TrashScan? We have this short video that we're going to show you that will give you a high level 10,000 foot view. And then over the next 45 minutes to get into the app and show you the functions available and the capabilities that will lead to higher efficiency and profitability for your valet trash business.
If you're watching this, you're either a valet trash service provider, a community representative seeking valet trash services, or an interested party that is looking to join one of the fastest growing service industries available to multifamily communities. Your current valet trash operation looks somewhat similar to this. But how do you monitor when your employees arrive at the property site and know they have performed services as expected? Does your daily routine include frequent text messages and phone calls to multiple employees in the field? Or furthermore, are you still tagging along to make sure the job gets done right? How are you recording and reporting customer violations? Do you spend time daily preparing and emailing reports to property managers? You may have methods that work today, but what happens when your business doubles or triples in size? The effort of managing your operations will increase substantially, leaving more room for failures. Achieving sustained growth requires streamlining your operations and providing traceability that only a digital platform can provide. Digitizing your operations is the answer, and TrashScan is the only all-in-one technology solution in the marketplace that streamlines your valet trash operations. TrashScan offers a personalized work plan enabled with geofencing for added integrity of your services. 3 convenient and efficient ways for Porter to log pickups for service traceability. The ability to collect data on community recycling for compliance reporting to local city waste mandates. And seamlessly capture and report violations to customers. Not to mention complete transparency for operations managers to view their employees' activities on a user-friendly interface from desktop, tablet, or mobile phone. For property managers, TrashScan minimizes customer complaints and simplifies violation management with a tailored dashboard of service details. Overall, if you're looking for a complete, comprehensive solution for your valet trash business, TrashScan is here to take your organization to the next tier. Let's work together to keep those properties clean and those tenants smiling.
Awesome. We are excited about our app and even more excited about how it is giving the power back to you as valet trash operators, property managers, porters, and others within the waste industry. We pride ourselves on giving you the power to reclaim your visibility, integrity, time, and profitability. When we speak of visibility, no more guessing games. With TrashScan app, knowing when those porters have checked in and completed their assigned properties is just a part of your everyday routine. Moving along to integrity, which is backed by geofencing, no more worries if your porters are indeed on the site. And the scanning of QR codes doubles down on the routes being accomplished. The all-important concept of time. How many of you have to prepare violation reports on the back end? How are you investigating and providing proof to your properties that we're doing our jobs? TrashScan saves that extra time and effort by seamlessly giving you the power to see these transactions and inquiries on the go. And finally, profitability. A quick survey of our clients has proven that when it comes down to securing a property, our app and its capabilities is what is setting them apart from other operators and ultimately closing deals. Now you're back in the hands of Paul.
Thanks, Eddie. So now let's dive deeper into the demo. I want to walk you through the three main components of TrashCan app, starting off with the Operation Manager dashboard. This is the web-based platform that you as a Valley Trash owner will use to monitor your operations. Then we'll jump into the mobile app, which your porters will use. It's available on both Android and iPhone. And then lastly, we'll walk through the outputs of TrashCan, the reporting solution, and then talk about some use cases and how this reporting is valuable to you as well as your property manager. We hope that viewing our demo, you would be moved to start a free trial. And if doing so, after completing your sign up, you will receive an automated email from TrashCan with login credentials to access our digital platform. Once you receive your credentials, you can navigate to our homepage, which is trashcanapp.com. And on the top right-hand corner, there's a link to log in. Clicking on that link will take you to a new page to enter those credentials that you were provided via email. So once you've logged into TrashCan successfully, you'll be taken to what we call our Operations Manager dashboard. This is a tool that you as a Valley Trash owner, or perhaps you're a manager of a Valley Trash company, this is the web-based tool that you'll be using to manage your business. Again, this is available on any device that has a web browser. So if you have concerns about having to view this on a desktop or a laptop, if you want to view it on a tablet, or if you want to view this on a mobile device, you can do so as well. I'm going to talk about the various functions here on the left-hand screen in more detail. But first, let me talk about the metrics that above. We have several metrics that give you a pulse of your Valley Trash business. So the first thing you see when you log in, you're able to get an understanding of what is the state of your Valley Trash business for today. Starting off on the left-hand side, we have new violations. This gives you a tally of the new violations that have been documented. The next number that you see up here is missed pickup employees. This tells you the employees and properties that were missed within the last 5 days. This is tracked by what we have available within our mobile app, which is Property Check-In. Moving on is the tally of total pickups to date. So if you want to track the services that you're performing and provide that for any reason of sort, the total number of pickups is being tracked within our app. Moving on, we have two metrics that I want to talk about together, which is check-ins pending and buildings pending. So these give you a pulse on the services that have yet to be complete for the given day. So every day, this buildings pending resets the total number of buildings that you service for the day. And then this gives you a total of the properties that have to be checked into. So when your porter arrives to the site, they all should check in. Obviously, at the end of the day, you expect both of these numbers to be 0. Oops, I didn't mean to go down into that report, but we'll talk about that more in detail later. Below here, you have a graphical view. As you see, we're just using the demo count, so there's nothing here, but as you perform and as you use TrashCan, this will be populated with statistics on the volume of waste you've collected. And if you're doing recycling, if you have some recycling program, we're able to track that separately. So this is usually a visual diagram, and you'll see this within your 30 days, and you're able to modify that based on the time frame you want to be able to report on. Now we'll move on to the functions that are available on the left-hand side. You have several functions available, and starting with your employees. Within TrashCan, you can set up the various roles that align to your Valley Trash business. So if you're a one-man show, maybe you just have one role that's a porter or manager. But if in the case where you're operating and you have multiple managers, you may want to have a operations manager role. You may want to have a lead porter role, and you can set various authorizations on each role. So clicking on here, you have different roles that you can set up, and each one has a different authorization, which controls what they see on the left-hand side. So in the case you have a porter that their only job is to pick up trash, you only need limited functions here available. And what we primarily recommend is giving them the managed bin tags. Bin tags are the 2D QR codes that they would scan on their route. So that's something adequate for somebody that's only picking up trash. If you have somebody that essentially reviews violations and deals more with the customer, you can set up a role appropriate where they only able to view the properties and the violation reports that are generated. So this gives you a way to set up your employee, your workforce based on how your organization is designed. The next step in setting up TrashCan is adding your workforce. So under Manage Employees, we have several functions to allow you to do so. And it's not just about having your employees in here, but we have functions that allows you to track them and truly streamline your operations. It's very simple to get your employees added to TrashCan. The only information you need is their name, their email, and phone number. And TrashCan automatically generates the login credentials for them to access it. So the onboarding process is very simple. Now we're going to move on to Manage Customers. Under Manage Customers, you have the ability to store information on your property management clients or property owners that you service. And it's just a central location to store their name and their email address. But overall, it gives you a view that you can see the clients that you have, the various properties under that client, as well as the property managers that are associated with those property management companies. The next step in the setup process is setting up your properties. Under Managed Properties, you're able to add your property and the configuration of that. So we support the design of garden style apartments where you would have many buildings with each building have many units. And we also support the setup for a high rise. So if you're servicing a property where there's just one building and many units, there's a different configuration for that. If you service HOAs where your clients are in single family homes, there's another setup for that. And lastly, if you have townhomes. So it's customizable to really mimic what the property looks like that you're servicing. Now, when it comes to tracking, you have 4 different options to track your property. You can track the services at the property level, right? So if you're only concerned about giving your customers notifications when you arrive to the property, having some confirmation that you showed up at the property, you can set it up that way. However, if you want to go down to a much more granular level of service tracking, you can set up the property where we're tracking each individual unit or door on that property. So the setup of the properties is something that we do as a service. We'll consult with you to tell you the pros and cons of each. And then based on that, we will go in and set it up for you as a service. But you have the access to this where you can edit property information at any point. And also, this is where you can assign your employees to those properties. All right, so we're almost done with the setup process. Now we're going to skip down to a function that is important to many valet trash companies. I know that not everybody tracks violations, but many do. Violations occur when your porters are on the site and they get to a particular unit and they may have left trash bags out that weren't tied up. And as a result, they have trash all over the ground. You as a valet trash service provider, you must address it. Right? But another case would be your porter arrives to the door and there's a bulk item left out, and these are typically, regardless of what it is, there's rules that you have in place for your valet trash services. And when somebody does not abide by those rules, that is considered a violation. And documenting those are typically tasks that are time consuming and also challenging. It may not be challenging for the individual in the field who has to simply just take a picture, but for those who have to package that and report that to the valet to the property management, that is a task that becomes time consuming. All right, maybe you have one property, not a big deal, but certainly when you get to having 20 properties or 30 properties, that can become a rising issue for you. So we streamline it. So first I'm gonna talk about the things that you can do on the front end to help keep your porters moving when they're in the field. So you have the ability to add the violation rules. So whatever the rules are, you can preload those here on the back end, and they will appear on the mobile app within the drop down. So that what that does is avoid your porters from having to type in what the issue was. Also standardize it so you have set rules in place so you don't have to worry about somebody not documenting it correctly. You also have the ability to log the violation actions. So whether it be as a result, you're going to email the community, you're going to leave a notice on the door, or you're just going to contain and resolve the issue. Perhaps you may even charge for those violations. You're able to document that along with the violation at the time of capture, all within the mobile app. So you take the time to do this setup up front, and it benefits your porters within the field. Now that we've gone through this completes all of the steps that are to be done before your team can begin using the mobile app out in the field. Like we said a couple times now, we perform the setup up front for you. So we have our workbook in which we send out to you, which allows us to collect the information on your employees, on your properties, your customers, and the violation setup. And so to get you going on our mobile platform as soon as possible. So now I'm going to hand it over to Eddie, and he's going to walk you all through our features and functions available within the TrashCan app, the mobile app.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and now to where all the magic happens. The porter interface was designed to be sleek, easy to navigate, and user-friendly. It is equipped with 6 buttons: activate, add notes, pick up, daily work plan, activity log, and violation capture. What we'll do now is simulate what a potential route looks like, starting with the daily work plan. Upon pressing the option, you'll be taken to a screen which prompts your porter to check into the property or properties in which they have been assigned to. After pressing the check-in button in the top right corner, the list of assigned properties will appear. Here you'll see TrashCan App Village and an alert showing that the property has not been checked in. We simply hit the check, it turns green, and voila, your porter is officially ready to start their route. Once checked in, all the corresponding buildings, units, or townhomes associated with that property will appear. It would also show an alert that the building walkthrough has not been completed. When building 1 is clicked upon, it will give all available units or checkpoints within that building to be completed, and will also be accompanied with a pickup button or the little trash can, an add notes, and violations button to leave for each unit. We're going to collect trash. As shown within the video, you can either manually hit the trash can to execute a pickup. A prompt will appear and the options will gray out showing this unit or checkpoints have been completed. Now, let's snap up a violation for Unit 222 in Building 2. Simply select Violation icon, scroll through your completely customizable violation rules, choose an action. In this case, we won't gripe too much, so we'll choose Contain/Resolve. Have the option leave additional special notes. And finally, we bring out our inner photographer to capture up to 10 images before submitting it to the valet trash operator. And just like that, we've captured a violation, left notes, and provided physical proof of the violation in less than a minute. Remember, a walkthrough is not successfully completed until all units have been addressed and a prompt stating walkthrough successfully submitted is shown, as you see on the screen now. All right, for the sake of transparency, we're going to pull up our admin portal to view QR codes that are attached to our virtual units and execute some transactions in real time to show the ease of scanning pickups, adding notes, and reporting violations. As you can see, QR codes will be similar to the ones presented, but placed based off what's best for your organization, which could ultimately be on the trash can, on the tenant's door, at the beginning of a breezeway, at the end of a breezeway, or one strategically placed QR code on each floor of the building. What we'll be demonstrating now is just going to be a casual pickup that your porters will do. You'll simply open up the pickup option, put it over the QR code, and it automatically captures it. Let's do a few more. Simple enough. Easy peasy. All right, we've seen how easy it is to do pickups. Now let's do a few violations. We'll simply choose the violation option, choose the unit, scroll down to the infraction that we're going to be using, we're going to give an action that we're going to use for this one. Like I said, these are all totally customizable. And we're also going to give them a special note as well. After leaving a note, like we stated previously, you do have the option to capture up to 10 images of each violation to forward. Next up, as the porter, you have the ability to look through your activity logs. Look at all the waste you've collected, all the violations you've captured, and all the notes that you've also written as well. Speaking of notes, you have the option to open this icon to document any notes you need to leave for any particular unit. And also accompany those notes with pictures as well. Same standards that applies with violations, you still have up to 10 images to collect. As we finish our notes and we capture our images, we know you're probably sitting there thinking, well, you forgot to go over activate. So the great thing about the activate process is that we actually take care of that for you within the implementation process. User admin has the ability to go within your portal and actually activate them yourselves just by simply putting your phone over the QR code and actually pressing the activate button as well. But don't give it too much thought. Us here at TrashCan here to help to make everything a seamless process for you and your team. And there you have it. Hope that was easy enough. And now I hand it back off to Paul.
So just to recap here, what we've gone over in today's demo, you have seen the setup process where we walk through setting up the workforce, your employees, adding your customers, and adding your properties at your service. Then Eddie walked through the features that are available within the Porter mobile app. Now let's dive into the reporting that's available within the Operations Manager dashboard. This is where accountability and transparency comes into play. You as a Valley Trash service provider, you want to be able to track your operations and know what your employees are doing in the field. And it also serves your customers to have this information as well. And for that purpose, we have what we call a Property Manager portal, which gives your customers access to this data in real time. But let's go ahead and transition into the reporting that you will see, and we're going to cover those use cases of how they benefit you. So in order to get to the reports that are available, you have to go back to trashcanapp.com and log into the Operations Manager's dashboard using those same credentials. Once you log in, of course, you have the quick metrics that are available up top to give you a quick view of your Valley Trash operations. But on the left side, there is a menu item called Manage Reports. And under Manage Reports, there's several sub-menu items of the different reports available. Now, for today's purposes, I'm not going to go through all of these reports. Each and every one has a specific use case, but I want to touch on the reports that we've seen broadly utilized across our customer base. First, I'm going to dive into the delivery report. This report records all of the activities that are performed by your porters in the field at the properties. This report allows you to view things such as when your porters have checked into the property, the waste collection tasks that have been performed, as well as any violations and notes that have been recorded. Within this report, you're able to filter down. So if you want to see a specific property and even filter down to see specific units or specific buildings, we have this free form search here that is available. Now, how this report is used, what we've seen from our client base is that eliminate or reduce the amount of complaints that are resulting from residents complaining that your employees are not showing up to pick up the trash. And a good example to give you is, let's say that a resident that lives in Building 1, Unit 104, he complains to the property manager, hey, the Valley Trash Company did not come on Tuesday. I set my trash out and nobody ever showed up. And you're able to go to that property manager and say, hey, look at this report. My employee showed up at your property at 6 p.m. He checked into the property. He then serviced Building 1, Unit 102 at 6:15 p.m. He also served unit number 108 at 6:19 p.m. Therefore, my employee had to walk by that unit in order to service both of those units. Now, having this information available builds trust and comfort between the property manager and the servicing Valley Trash Company. Now we're going to navigate to a report that many of our Valley Trash customers use, which is the property check-in report. This report gives you as a Valley Trash owner or operations manager a quick view or quick status update on which properties your porters have shown up to and which ones that they have not yet shown up to the service. And the great thing about this report is you don't have to contact your employees all individually trying to find out whether they've shown up or not. You can see it here, and this is real time. But also, if they haven't shown up or if you need to get a status update from them, you have the ability to contact them directly from this report. So on the right hand side here, you have an icon which allows you to contact the porters that are assigned to each given property. Once you draft your message here, and you say just requesting an update on where they are, it sends a text message to them directly with your contact details so that they can follow up with you. So again, a very useful tool for being able to see the status of services across all your properties. Now I want to talk about another report or another tool that is very, very useful within TrashCan, which is the violation management. We've done a lot of investment into this particular component. We know that many valet trash companies, they have manual processes for capturing and reporting violations. You saw earlier when Eddie walked through how we've simplified the processing and the capturing of violations. But what we find is on the back end, it becomes a time-intensive effort in preparing those reports to send to your. Four things. You can change the status of it. So taking it from new to submitted status, that will then submit it to the property manager where it shows up on the property manager portal. And I'll get to that a little bit later in the presentation. You're able to discard it. If, for instance, you deem that the violation is not something that you want to report to it, you can just set it aside and it will no longer be something that is included in your reporting to the property management. If you happen to charge for violations, you're able to put it in pending payment status until that payment has been received. And then once that violation has been handled, you've done all the processing through the property management company, you're able to close it and archive it. So we allow you to control the life cycle of that violation within this report. You also have 3 additional action icons to the right, one being view it. So at this point, when we clicked on the number here, you're able to see the associated photos. But if you want to see the full details of the violation, you can see that here. Now you're also able to email the violation. So if you click on this link, it will auto-populate the property managers and enable you to send that violation. And then you're also able to print the violation. Most valet trash admins or operations manager, you probably don't have a need to print it. You're not sending it through the mail in most cases. But there is a print to PDF function that many of our valet trash companies use if their customer is accustomed to getting a PDF of the violation. So that's very useful. Now, at this point, you're looking at violations and you're viewing them individually. But we know that when you send reporting, more likely you want to send one report with all the violations. So a couple other functions we made available within the report to enable you to do that. Using the filters above, I'm going to filter down on TrashCan app. And then I'm going to filter on the new violations. Now that you have it filtered on a particular property, you're able to do what we call bulk actions. Selecting this allows you to select all of the violations. If you wanted to unselect certain violations, you can do so. And then you have the ability to do a bulk update of the status. You can package all of these violations into a single PDF and send that to the property manager. You're also able to print the violation or generate a PDF if you choose to. So for the sake of this demo, I'm going to send all of these violations via an email. What you have here is email recipients already populated in here. We've done this, and the background on this, we know that this is a daily routine that you perform. And so we wanted to cut out as many manual steps as possible. So even down to having to put the draft the email. So if you're going to send this report every day, we know the property manager that has been assigned to this property. And so we auto-populate any assigned property managers in the recipient box of the email. If you needed to change it, you can do so. But it just simplifies it, cuts out one step that you would have to perform in sending the report. Also, you have the ability within TrashCan to create what we call email templates. These emails that you're sending on a daily basis, the contents of the email doesn't change. And so we've given you the ability to define an email template. So in this case, you see it's pre-populated with property C, but you're able to change that as needed. But within this template, you have a subject line that is already predefined, and you have the contents that are also predefined. If you needed to change it for some reason, you're able to do so. If you need to customize it, you're able to do so here. But we made it easy by enabling you to just simply select the predefined template, and it creates the email subject and the email contents to send to your property managers. So again, if you have 10 different properties, 20 different properties where you need to send a daily report, we made this very simple. Just a couple of clicks and you're able to generate their report and send it out to your property managers. We're taking a task that would normally take you 3-4 hours in a day. Now you can get it done in 30 minutes. Now, for the sake of the demo, I do want to show you all what the email looks like. So I'm going to send this email to myself. As you see, you get the confirmation that the email is sent. And now I'm going to do one additional step. These violations are in new status. And when they're in new status, the property managers are not able to see them on the property manager portal. So for the sake of this, I'm going to select just a few of these violations, and I am going to change them to submitted status. And what this is going to do is make these violations available on the property manager portal. So later on, when we go into the property manager portal, you will be able to see those violations. So moving on to the email, I want to give you a quick glimpse of what your property managers would see if you wanted to send them the violations through a daily report. So this is the email that I sent out. And within here, you have the logo of TrashCan right now. One thing that we've done within TrashCan is what we call white labeling. So when you set up your account and you're able to add your own logo, so what would show within the emails going out to your customers would be not TrashCan's logo, but your own branding here. And you see they have the email that was in the template before, and then clicking on this would open up that PDF with all of the violations that have been captured. And if your property manager, your customer would like to, they can print it or they can download it. And when I get into the property manager portal, I'm going to show you some other features that are available to the property manager. Your property managers can access TrashCan at the same URL, the same login screen that you all use. When you set them up, they would receive an email with those login credentials generated through the TrashCan app.
The user will be taken to this dashboard view, giving them real-time information on new violations that have been submitted to them, recycling collection totals, units that have been serviced, and the status of the current day's waste collection services. The user has the ability to drill down from this dashboard, or they have the ability to access service information through the panel on the left-hand side of the screen. Upon clicking on the menu item, the user will be taken to the list of properties they have been authorized to view. In most cases, the property manager will only be able to see a single property, but the option is there to enable monitoring of multiple properties, as you see here. On the far right, there are two icons along the side of each one of the properties. The first icon takes the user to view the violations that have been submitted, and the second icon takes the user to view the most recent services. Let's first take a look at the service log for Trash Can App Village. We have made this report available to property managers to equip them to address customer inquiries. If a resident has a complaint about missed services, they can investigate themselves and save the time spent inquiring back with the valet trash service provider. Additionally, giving the property manager this kind of transparency goes a long way in building trust. They now can see for themselves that the services are being provided as expected. Now let's take a glance at violation management. So I'm going to go back to Manage Properties, and I'm going to view the second icon associated with Trash Can App Village. Upon clicking on the violation report icon, the user has access to the same report seen on the Operations Manager dashboard. The exception is that they will not be previewed to violations that the valet trash provider has not formally submitted. From there, the property manager can view the violation details, just as we are able to do on the Operations Manager dashboard. They can also email the violation, and this feature is especially important. You recall us talking about the option for property managers to go paperless. The send email function allows them to email the violation details directly to the resident. So if they have a process where they provide the documentation of the violation to the resident in accordance to assessing a fine, they can just email that information directly. And lastly is the print function. The property manager has the ability to print off the violation details, or they can generate a PDF if needed. Lastly, I want to point out a couple more features. So first, we're going to navigate back to the home screen. Back here on the home dashboard, we have also included a quick search bar, which allows property managers to view waste collection and violation history for a given unit. So in the case where a property manager needs to confirm whether or not to assess a fine to a particular resident, if there's a policy in place where the property fines the resident on the third violation, they can just perform a quick search on a given unit and whatever information, whatever history for that property would show up here. The last feature I want to point out on the Property Manager portal is the ability to view your repeat offenders, your top violators. This report shows all of the properties in which the property manager has been authorized to monitor, and the property manager has the ability to drill down to see the top violators. They can view the top five violators, and they can alter this report to show as many violators as they want to. The result of this report gives the property manager insights into who they may need to reiterate the policies or rules for waste collection for the community. Well, that wraps up our Trash Can App demo. Eddie and I would like to thank you for taking time to check out our valet trash solution. We invite you to allow us to earn your business by taking advantage of our free trial. Feel free to reach out to us through the chat window here on our website, through phone or email. Thank you.